So today is the 11th day of the 11th month, which of course marks the end of the First World War. So for the occasion, I have chosen a selection of books, some which I've read, some of which are on my TBR, to share with you, either set in the First or Second World War. The first book I ever read set in one of the World Wars was All Quiet on the Western Front by Erich Maria Remarque. This was recommended by my history teacher to me at school, and it was really interesting to read a German perspective on the First World War. But get your tissues, because you will cry. It's a very sad book. The next book is Birdsong by Sebastian Faulks. Also set in the First World War, this is a longer read, but has also been turned into a TV series, so if you can't be bothered to read it, you could watch the TV series. The Dust That Falls from Dreams by Louis de Beigneux. I really like the look of this book because it seems to focus a lot on the effect of the war at home for people who stayed behind. Next, book set in the Second World War, and the first book on my recommended World War II books is one of my favourite books of all time. So good! I can't even communicate how good this book is. That's Codename Verity by Elizabeth Vine. How do you say your name? In German or like in English? Elizabeth Vine or Vine. It's split into two sections. One of these women is a spy behind enemy lines in occupied France, and one is a rare female pilot, and it has one of the best plot twists I've ever read. I wept at the end of this book. It's just so beautiful. If you read no other book on this list, read this one. Please, I beg you, it's so good. The next one is quite famous, obviously because of the film and because Keira Knightley played the lead, and that's Atonement by Ian McEwan. One of the most well-written and reliable narrators I think I've ever read, so Atonement. The next is a book which also has a fantastic film, and that's The Reader by Bernhard Schlink. One of the strongest themes in this book is national guilt. Germans collectively, as a society, feeling guilt for the actions of the Second World War, even if they weren't born then, this sort of collective national guilt, which I think you can still find here somewhat today. So it's really relevant still, and beneath that is a deeply personal story, which I always like within the context of a greater theme. The rest of these books I haven't read, but I've bought them because I want to read more in this era, so I'll quickly run through these. We have The Book Thief, All the Light We Cannot See, Where My Heart Used to Beat, Winter in Madrid, The Welsh Girl, and finally, the last book, Resistance by Owen Shears. I hope maybe this gave you some ideas for if you were looking for something set in this era, or inspired you to go and read some historical fiction during the month of remembrance. Happy reading, everybody, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!